Then we had number 2 Oregon going on the road against number 7 Penn State. And this one was very interesting. It was Penn State's whiteout. Huge home field advantage in this one and huge implications because the winner is going to be right up there at the contender spot with Iowa State, where it's like for years it was kind of like Ohio State and Michigan played at the end of the year where it's like, well, the winner of that one's going to go to the championship. It's like the winner of that is going to be the real separator. So it's like these head-to-head games are so huge in the Big Ten. And Oregon going on the road and winning in the whiteout was really impressive. And I know Penn State doesn't win too much in these top 10 games anymore. But I mean, Oregon really played well, and especially Dante Moore in overtime. Like that last play where he dodged out a guy, like he snuck out of the pocket, and then just like falling away, he throws it to a guy, and then the guy's able to make enough moves, and they score a touchdown in one play. Like Oregon played really great, and it really just shows how great of a week this was. When this was a 3-3 game late in the third, turns into a 30-24 overtime thriller with Oregon winning. This really was just a great game and really capped off a great week, Jack.
Yeah, I mean this was kind of a defensive game. Kind
Mm-hmm.
of you could say boring game. I mean, it started out with Oregon missing a field goal, and then Penn State
Right,
made a field goal, and then Oregon made a field goal. It was just 3-3 for most of the game. But
right.
then Oregon really turned it up. Like two straight touchdowns. It
Mm-hmm.
was 17-3 for a lot of it, and in the fourth quarter, Penn State just kind of turned it up. Where these are the kind of throws that just scream like top five pick. For that one throw that Aller made was just insane. Um, it's
Right.
interesting because like he has so much talent around him, but they really just could not get anything going against
I know.
Oregon for like most of all of the game. And this score is not what the game was. Like
Right.
if you didn't watch the game, you were like, oh, 30-24. That's pretty close. But like no, it was not. I mean, Oregon completely dominated it. And Penn State had two late touchdowns, and it really seemed like they were finally going to get that top 10 win. Ben,
Right.
they made those two touchdowns. They were the first to go in overtime. They scored first in overtime very quickly, but they
Right.
just could not get it done. It's just, is it ever going to happen? Can they ever get a top 10 win?
I don't know. And I mean, Oregon, I mean, they held in the fourth down in that first overtime, but then Oregon was able to get
Yeah,
it where, like, it really is just tricky. I mean, Oregon looked really great. And as far as in regulation, it was very stingy on the defenses played really well in regulation, so it was really tough go for both these teams. But they ended up kind of both scoring touchdowns in the second half, where they kind of started to break through. And I mean, if you were watching this game when it's like towards the end of the third, where it's like 3-3, you wouldn't think that they would score 30 and 24 points like that. That's what's
yeah,
like so crazy. Where it's like it kind of came out of nowhere, where it felt like it was a dud for most of the game. Very defensive battle, and Oregon, it's really weird because Oregon was supposed to be in a rebuilding year. They lost,
yeah, yeah.
right? They lost Dylan Gabriel. They lost some key players, Tez Johnson, and Penn State had a lot of returning talent. They were, and the AP poll, they love returning talent, and so they were
So
supposed to be like really. It was really supposed to be a breakthrough year for Oregon, for Penn State. I mean, and it's like like to not beat a team. And I know Oregon's really great, but it's like they weren't supposed to win big like games this year. This is the rebuilding year. They're trying to get back on track. They're trying to put this game back together versus a team that had a lot of returning talent that was already assembled. Where it's like Penn State, it's like, when is it going to happen? If not now, like when? Like in the whiteout
yeah.
against an Oregon team that was trying to
Mhm.
rebuild and that had kind of struggled against Northwestern, especially in terms of their run defense, where it's like, when is it going to happen? And it's like, if they're not even going to be in the top two, because now Oregon has kind of separated themselves. If they don't beat Ohio State, like they might already not have a chance at the Big Ten title. Where it's like, when are they going to break through? Because it feels like they're always in that category of top 10 teams, and they're never able to get it done against one. Where it's like, well, how do you even say that they're that high in the top 10 when they consistently don't win those games? Where it's like, it's really tricky. And it's like, once again, if not now, when? And it feels like we just keep waiting, and it just doesn't happen, Jack. Something's got to change. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just James Franklin is just not clicking because now he's 4-21 versus top 10 opponents. And the last top 10
Right.
opponent that he beat was in 2016 against Ohio State when they blocked a field goal to win it there. Um,
Right.
So, and they're kind of just holding on to that, I guess. So that's almost a decade ago. So,
Right.
I mean, it's been so long, and they haven't lost a whiteout since 2018. That against Ohio State too, because they,
Right.
I mean, they haven't been scheduling like good teams for the whiteout usually. I mean,
Right.
last year was Washington and SMU. Um,
I
so
mean, a few years
I was
ago, right.
yeah,
A few years ago, they beat up on Iowa that didn't have an offense. So it's like,
right, the
you know,
31-0, yeah.
right.
So
I
I
feel like
respect them.
the whiteout numbers that they said were in a row, they were kind of inflated as well. Where it's like, but you're not playing Ohio State in the whiteout. Last time you did, you lost. Where it's like, all right, you know.
Right, right. That's why I kind of respected them for scheduling this Oregon game for a whiteout. Um, but man, I mean, and like you said, like they almost had it in overtime where they scored first.
Right.
Oregon, they muffed a snap and then got held to fourth down, and then Dante Moore had that great play that you mentioned. But I mean,
Right.
man, is it just ever going to happen that they just cannot win big games? It just is their Achilles heel, it seems.
Right. Yeah. I mean, definitely. And I mean, James Franklin, it's really tough where it felt like last year in that playoff run, it felt like they were finally going to prove the doubters wrong. And when they beat SMU and then they beat Boise State, where it's like, I know those weren't huge, but it's like at least they were winning against teams that, and they weren't, they were kind of inflated in the ranking to begin with. And Penn State really just had an easy go in that ranking. But then they played Notre Dame. And I mean, they really should have won. Like Drew Aller threw a terrible interception to throw the game away towards the end, where it's like, even in games where it's like they
Yeah,
had it and they just give it away, where it's like, when is it going to happen? And that's why, like, when I was previewing this game, I'm like, I can't confidently pick Penn State because they
yeah.
don't win these games, and it's hard to even put them high in the top 10 because it's like they don't beat top 10 teams historically. They don't. So it's really tricky,
I just
and it's like they beat the
yeah,
teams that they should, and then against the teams that it's like this one was more egregious because they were ranked above Oregon. I didn't have them ranked above Oregon, but I know the AP did. And I mean, even now, like they only fell to 7, where it's like it's really tricky. I had them at 10th before they even lost. So I mean, it's just really tricky. And I don't know what's going on with Keegan Michael Key's doppelganger, James Franklin, the head coach. Something's really messed up, and I think they are a good team because like you can see
yeah.
how they played. They played great in this game. And the way they were able to rally in the fourth and like a lot of overtime, like they were pretty solid. And that interception was just really unfortunate. But like this team was good. They played well. They just don't know how to close these games out, Jack.
They just don't. I mean, I don't know what needs to change,
Right.
but man, I mean, like everything was set in stone. I mean, like you said, like Oregon was rebuilding, but they just continually replace that talent. They're
Right.
one of the best in the country to do it. I mean, they're definitely one of those teams that has like one of the best like quarterback
Right.
runs for sure with Mariota, Herbert, Bo Nix, Dylan
Right.
Gabriel,
Jeez.
and
Yeah.
now Dante Moore. I mean, it's a very good list. I mean, Dylan Gabriel is going to start here for the Browns, probably. I mean, we'll see, but yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Dante Moore, I think, is absolutely in that Heisman candidate, and this is why I love grass fields.
Right.
This is just the mud was just everywhere, and it was just so cool to see. It was
Right.
just all over Moore's jersey. It was awesome. Just so much better than turf.
Right. Jeez, his jersey looks so cool. And
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know if you saw
awesome.
this, but it was kind of confusing because if you saw this about the Giants this past week, where it's like Cam Scadaboo's jersey, like he had like mud on the numbers, but it's like, but they play on turf, so it's like, what happened?
Right,
But
right. I
yeah,
saw that. Yeah, that was weird.
yeah. I mean, grass fields
Yeah,
are 100% superior, and I mean, you saw what just
yeah.
happened to Najee Harris, where he got gripped by the turf monster, and now
Right.
he's out for the year. Where it's like it's really unfortunate, and like it's just really weird. And I really love grass fields, and we see that a lot more at the college level. It's why it's so great. And I mean, there's a lot of things about college football that's superior, notably the overtime rule, where we
Mhm.
saw several overtime games, including this one. And I just love the process of like each team, like it's really fair, and it can end in a tie. Ties are why? Why do they exist at this
Yeah,
level? And it's like each team, it's like you get the ball and then you get the ball. You score the same, okay, you go again. And then if not, you go 2 point, 2 point, 2 point, where it's like people argue, they're like, well, we don't want to play all night. Like it's going to be going too crazy. It's like, well, they fixed that though. Because then going for two and then the 2 point back and forth, all it ever does is enhance the game and makes it more exciting. It never makes it feel like it's dragging. Like, I don't know who are these people that hate free football that say, no, we shouldn't add extra overtime. It's like, that's what's fun about it. It's like really weird. And the fact that the Packers and the Cowboys were allowed to tie in that game, I mean, it really just shows how superior college football is, especially, I mean, when it comes to the overtime rule. And look at how many games were enhanced by the overtime. Like, the overtime makes the games better. It kind of kills the games in the NFL. It's like Oregon Penn State in regulation, that was 17-17. And it was 3-3 in the second half. Like, all it did was enhance, and then it makes that game so much more memorable and so much cooler too. Where it's like both teams got a chance to like run up the score more. Where it's like, I know like defensive games, I know that was kind of the theme of this, but like it's cool to see like towards the end, especially when the defenses get tired, when the offenses can rip a little more and score a lot more, and it's like it's really fun. And that's why I don't get the criticisms against it, because I mean the college football overtime, it feels like it's perfected, and it really just enhances the game and just makes it more enjoyable and more memorable, Jack.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely like the superior way to NFL. I mean, I don't know how
Right.
the tying hasn't been outlawed a while ago. It's interesting that we even still have it because it's just so outdated. I mean,
Right.
with how important these regular season games are, it just
Right.
makes no sense for ties to happen. Because whenever ties happen like this, and you look at playoff pictures, it's so weird
Right.
seeing what teams go in front of others that are tied. And it kind of, for the Packers, it kind of messes it up because with it kind of is like they're not really a leg up on the Lions in that division.
Right.
Because I mean that's a game that they didn't lose, but it kind of feels like a loss in the fact that they just can't really win that division like they normally would. But yeah,
Right.
another thing I wanted to mention about the turf fields, we
Mhm.
just saw Malik Neighbors go down with an ACL injury. He's out for the year. And Odell Beckham
Right.
Jr., he played for the Giants, and he mentioned how bad the conditions were at MetLife
Right.
Stadium. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, turf monster is it's just awful. I mean, especially with the worst turfs. Like, I mean, we saw Odell
Right.
go down in the Super Bowl, the Rams Stadium. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it just
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, and I forget, I think it might have been Darius Slayton. It was one of the Giants wide receivers a few years ago where he was just walking on the field and then just collapsed. Where it's like we
Uh,
cannot be like the turf fields. I'll have to figure out who that was, but like it's just so unfortunate with the turf fields because it's so dumb, and they really do need to fix that, and they need to play on grass like a lot of these college teams do, and especially Penn State. I mean that's great, and grass is far more superior, and also I mean it does enhance like it looks really cool when the mud gets on the jersey like that. Dante Moore's jersey with the mud on it and the way that went with the green, like he looked so
yeah,
sick in that game. Like
yeah,
honestly,
he did.
like right. And I know maybe
That
they
was
don't want
awesome.
mud, and the mud that I can get, tricky. But it's like that's it's just it makes the game better, and I would think lowers injuries. And I feel like the NFL, they try to say like, oh yeah, they care about lower injuries, but then they continue to add more games to the season. They continue to add more international games, where it's like, no, you don't really. Like I don't know. It's just it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and another thing with grass fields is it's really hard to maintain.
Right.
Especially with teams that play in a dome. Um,
Right.
like I know the Cardinals, they kind of wheel their field out and let it get sun. For that, I
Right.
hope more teams start doing that because I think that's a good tradition to keep going.
Right.
But yeah, it's all a part of like just it costs so much to maintain it. I mean, you see with the Vikings field, that's pretty much they're playing on concrete there, and it just
Right.
sucks. Yeah,
Right. I mean, with how long they let the Raiders play in Oakland on that horrible stadium, just the baseball stadium. How did they let that go on for so long? Like I've heard so many stories of guys' arms just getting
yeah,
torn up because they're just playing on concrete, Jack.
yeah. That was insane. I mean, that needed to go for sure.
Right.
That was very interesting that that kept going on. Um, yeah, but luckily not. But The new Raider Stadium is turf, of course, but yeah,
Right. At least it's not a baseball stadium. That's an
right.
improvement. But
Yeah.
yeah.